So we're starting session 8, and we will practice most of the time using the joy of being and a specific suggestion. But when we meditate in this context, we will meditate to go to the depth of our experience, where mind is not engaged anymore in what we see. We will be seeing and hearing, but we are not engaged in what we see. That will become clearer. I also would like to say is that I don't want to be dramatic, really not, but this may be the last time for most of us that we ever can study this material and reflect on this material. I mean, I've been leading this kind of work I don't know, well, let's say 10 times, but I don't know if there's another time. So I think we should assume for all of us that this is the time to learn about transitions, about dying, our own, and how to be with others, the suggestions, and what that implies for the life that we still have. So we can expect that when we leave the end of the retreat, that you will have a map as it has been passed on from teachers to Tartan Tuku and to the books that we have now. So let's try to be as open as we can, because maybe it's different for you personally, but most of us have never thought about these topics. We have lots of experiences, so we did learn, but to really have something that will be reliable when being with others and reliable for our own is a very nice opportunity we have to look at that. So, and then the question is about clear light, clear mind, naked mind. The naked mind in the traditional teachings is referred to as Buddha nature, meaning that what the Buddha verbalized is actually comes with a clear mind. Clear mind means that the senses, the seeing and the hearing, are just that. They are seeing and hearing and feeling, and they are not thinking about what you see, labeling what you see. So there's clear seeing. The clear seeing, for example, has levels to it. There's not just seeing with the eyes, there's then seeing maybe with more the center of the head or the heart of the body, and eventually it becomes from space. Space is seeing. That's where we're going. That's where these teachings lead. So there's a way of seeing that is very truthful and not focused around an I, a me. So that's the change we will make. Can you see without bringing it back to the I? So when the I is no longer the center of experience, but the seeing is, then we will see as things really are. So when we see naked mind as it really is, that is who we really are. So who are we really? Instead of the conditioned self that we have been learning by being in the womb and by growing up, and the dynamic of that is really seductive, and I don't know if I use the word in the right context, but almost devilish, because we are giving up our freedom so that we can belong. We can belong to this family, we can belong to that peer group, we can belong to those girlfriends and boyfriends. We belong to that. That's a very deep desire of all of us to belong. And we think that we can belong to people, we can belong to groups, we can belong to buildings, we can belong to countries. I mean, if you watch a football game between Holland and Germany, for example, the Dutch people, and I'm sure the Germans too, the Dutch people really feel they all belong together with this football team. That's a bizarre belonging, but it's very passionate, very involved. But that sense of belonging is so important to us, to all people. So, and in these teachings we are weaning that. Weaning that means becomes less and less dependent on it, and we find out what is it that we really belong to, not to a conditioned self or a conditioned culture that we have been taught to. I mean, at all cost, I want the Dutch team to win in anything. I don't care at all about auto racing, but there's a 20-year-old Dutch guy who is very good, and now I'm watching auto racing. It's ridiculous. So there's something about that, you know. I'm not living here for many, many years, but... And if Holland is not winning, I don't watch. I'm not interested at all, because it's, you know, it's not the real me. So the sense of belonging is so deeply ingrained. Now there are people who say, well, I care about football, I don't care about who's winning. It's not true at all. You know, we want our team to win. So this sense of belonging is very, very, very deeply ingrained. When the mind becomes more and more naked, we begin to discover that that's what we belong to. That is the real us. So in the real us, we will, and I don't know if these words speak to you, but I'm using Rinpoche's words that speak to me very much. In the real nakedness of our being, we discover our purpose for being here. There's not a specific purpose. There's not like you should be this or you should be that. Could be, could very well be.
Can you say this sentence again?
That there is a purpose for being here. Rinpoche had 5 or 6 main teachers, and 3 of them, their parting words were, you have a purpose, don't forget. You have a purpose. It's not, it could be, but it's not a specific purpose. But this idea that you have a purpose means you're on a path. You are on a path. Of course you're on a path between birth and death, and who knows beyond. You are on a path. You don't want to be strayed from the path. Strayed means to get lost. And for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, we are engaged something that's really not us. You must have those experiences too. And my goodness, what did I do for so long? And I was asleep or I was ignorant. So the more you're on your path, what really belongs to you is coming out. So if I say passions, that's maybe not the right word. Maybe abilities or talents or... My father had you know, my family too by now, but my father had a sentence that really spoke to me, and it's in Dutch, it's different than in any other language. And he would say, je moet woekeren met de talenten die je hebt. Je moet woekeren met de talenten die je hebt. That's it. So in Dutch it's something, in English it's something like you have to exploit the talents that you have. But exploit is not a nice word. But you have to really use or optimalize, or I don't know, maybe somebody else has a better word for woekeren. It's a very beautiful word. Use everything about it. And make it flourishing. Let your talents flourish. So it's very difficult to let your talents flourish if you are concerned what everybody thinks, what you're supposed to do, and this doesn't fit. You know, all these moralistic rules that are going on. Does your behavior, does my behavior, does that belong to me? And not only does that belong to me, when I behave like this, do I show what I belong to? So in the naked mind, that is your lineage, what you belong to and what belongs to you. That is the inner Lama that all teachers should focus on awakening. The job of a Lama is to awaken the inner Lama, the inner teacher, the inner knower. And when the mind is naked, the contact with it is just inseparable. Claro? Would you agree?
Is clear seeing when we see concentric circles spiral going?
For what?
Clear seeing means it's a path towards clear seeing. To see this light, clear light coming, circles going up.
Oh yeah, that's clear seeing.
It's a clear.
Yeah, that's how it is.
On the way.
Yeah. That's how it is when they are. You're talking about the chakras, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's appreciate that we have one more opportunity, hopefully till Saturday night, to talk about and hear things that are really essential about living and dying and the transitions. And the purpose of that is, one, is that there are critical times in our lives where the moment of, traditionally speaking, the moment of enlightenment is the most accessible. And enlightenment is to wake up to the potential of being human. The moment of death is such a moment. But in a transition, that's possible too. And since we are living in a transition, it's always possible. But now it's all muddied up with ideas and concepts and fears and desires and wishes and hopes. And I once had a chance to ask Rinpoche about something in the past. I forgot what it was. And his answer was, most people don't like what I'm going to say now, but I loved that advice. Some issue with maybe my brother, I don't know, some issue, and he says, forget about it. So part of these teachings is to forget what should be forgotten. Forget what should be forgotten. Forget about it. Yeah, but forget about it. Forget about it. People think then that you're stupid. No, you're not stupid. You focus on what really matters. So forget about it. It's certainly something I would love to learn. Just before I become emotional, just forget about it. Doesn't mean I become stupid and suppress. I'm not at all, but there's something much bigger going on. All right, shall we do some joy of being? So we will do, I don't know, we didn't always do what I said we would, but we will try, no, we will not try. We go as far as we can with exercise 2, 6, 16, and who knows, 24 too, 24 as well. So exercise 2 is simple, it's sitting. So focus on Andy, look at him, copy how he sits. Exercise 2 is releasing energy. So this is Rinpoche's method. How to prepare for death is releasing energy. Releasing until it becomes ease. That's his preparation. Releasing until it becomes ease. Then death is a transition, no big deal. So draw up the knees to the side, the soles of the feet together. The closer you can get them to the base of the trunk, the better. and gently push knees down. You don't want to be too pushy. It's an easing in. So you gently go down. So the knee, the energy in the knee says, yes, yes, give me more pressure. So rather than thinking about your hand pushing down, consider the energy in your upper legs and lower pelvic area that says, yes, more. So you reverse. You're not focusing on the hands pushing down. You're focusing on the energy saying yes. It's a very special area, the upper thighs and the lower body. There's lots of tension there, so lots of promise. And your energetic past is very related to the lower body. The back is straight, the head is straight. So you want to shift from you doing the exercise to the energy beginning to release. The energy is, you replace I'm doing this exercise, you replace that by the energy is releasing. Releasing. At some point, not today yet, but at some point it will become ease. All right, relax the physical body, bring the legs back. And is it true that the energy is loosening up? The energy body is really all we got. That's us, the energy body. So what you feel in your legs and your lower body, that is really you. You want to move as little as possible, huh? You want to be very still. As if you physically don't make many movements. I can say it differently. Move as if you don't have a physical body. Energy, space, and awareness. That's what's happening. And energy is universal, but your energy is unique. So as if the body is not moving, go back into that position as if the energy is directing the movement. Outwardly it seems the soles of the feet are touching, the hands are on the knees. So make a shift from you doing the exercise, you pushing the knees down, to the energy body saying, yes, come in, receive the pressure as a way to release. As we become more and more mature, we know more and more how to release. Maturing is releasing. Releasing is maturing. A wise person is at ease. When the energy begins to release, it's not just flowing, it's also beginning to communicate. The Kum Nye doesn't pay much attention to that, but the energy begins to release now, and release is flowing, but also communicating. The energy knows. What belongs to you and what you belong to. If the energy is flowing, it will take the shape to express what belongs to you and what you belong to. The process of dying is releasing. Moving almost unnoticeably back into sitting, as if hardly anything changes. The releasing continues while the body takes on the sitting posture. As it releases, it will begin to make concentric circles, and then will move up. The lower energy will join the upper energy. The upper energy will join the energy above it. So whatever is going on, it will first circulate and then it will go up through the center. While radiating out, it's going up. As we become more and more proficient in Kum Nye, the I, the self, will die. We become the flow of energies. And it's ours, so it's very unique. There is a you there, but it's not centered around to you. Your ongoing embodiment of energies, shaping spaces. When it's flowing, you feel joy. When it's flowing outward, you feel love. Let's do one more time. For the energy, there's no difference, but just the body takes on the other shape. Soles of the feet, so that we can facilitate the releasing becomes ease. First, the energy will begin to ease or release on the lower level. It's a very precious area. It has to do with our roots, where we're really coming from. Once it starts to circulate, it will tend to go up and enter into the energy above it. The energy above it will receive it. Entering, receiving, entering, receiving. Going up and up and up. Eventually it will open up the roof of the head. Now energy is going up and out. Up and sideways. Release the physical posture, but don't constrict, don't contract. The subtle body energy is beyond the physical body. It's outside your body too. Releasing becomes ease. Lower energies enter into higher energies receive lower energies. Entering, receiving. At some point, maybe not yet, not today, at some point you feel, you can sit forever like this. You will not, but it feels like that. Oh yeah, now I can sit forever. That's when the release has become ease. As if you can sit forever, perfectly content. Doing very useful work because you're energizing your environment without any dogmatic or moralistic flavors. It's energy, raw, pure energy. Circulating, facilitating release becomes ease. If you continue, you will become a beacon of light. In about a minute we will get up. You want to learn to transition without stopping and beginning. The stopping and beginning is man-made, means by human being. It's not reality. There is no stopping and there's no beginning. So learn in Kum Nye to not stop. Like when you get up, you're not stopping experiencing. There is no beginning and end in life. So we want to learn that experience, and Kum Nye can help that. So let's get up without stopping what was happening, and then have a stoppage and then beginning again. Ongoing. So in Joy of Being, we only focus on space. The arms go sideways, you experience the space you're moving through. So it's energy, you are energy, and space is energy. So energy meeting energy. Space is like the mother of all energies. So treat her like that. When we die, we return to space. Now we are manifesting in space. Arms are sideways. Tuck your chin slightly in. Palms are facing down. So the head is not necessarily connected to the fingertips. The whole body, upper body twists to the left. So you keep the head in the same place, the arms the same way, the shoulders down. If you can, a straight line without being rigid about it. So inner and outer are being connected through feeling. Space and subtle body energy mingle and are inseparable. Coming back. You are not moving back. There is a rhythm that just fits you at this moment. It can be different tomorrow or 5 minutes from now. Go to the other side in a rhythm that you say, yeah, this fits me. I'm not going too fast and not too slow. I'm not holding back. I'm not pushing. So there's no tension about you. If people look at you, they say, look, this person is at ease. I'm not holding my breath looking at you. Ease in motion, going to the other side. So we become familiar with space in 360 degrees. All space belongs to us, and we belong to all space. No longer separate from space. Coming back. See what is the right rhythm, because it might change. Where can you tell the right rhythm? Well, eventually it's the heart that will tell you. The heart chakra is the wisest of all. So look in the heart and see if the heart gives you feedback, like, yeah, this is right. Coming back, becoming familiar with space. And what's happening when you become inseparable from space? Past, present unite. There is no more past separate from now. Past, present is all present. Moving, moving. Forgetting what needs to be forgotten. Relating to space, mingling with your energy. Energy, space becomes awareness, opportunity. Now you can go anywhere in space because all of it has become inseparable from your energy. No separate spaces or places where you cannot enter. all time accessible, not the past in one place and the present in another. Next time when you're in the center, there's no stopping, the arms go down, there is no beginning or end. That's key to learning Kum Nye, no beginning and ending, no birth, no death. Life knows no beginning and ending. When you are ready, sit down. So now there's 360 degrees awareness. And make the shift from you who's having an experience to energy awareness as the center of experience. You are awareness energy. Energy space becomes awareness. I would recommend you close your eyes, but you see if it fits you or not. Close your eyes and let your attention roam in space and in time, in your environment, in your family, friends, acquaintances. And most of us, we have lingering and ongoing tension with maybe a person. Whether that person is dead or alive, doesn't matter. Often it is a parent, often it is a brother or a sister, or somebody, a colleague that you have worked with and were partners with. But whoever it is, bring this person closer. And before you start looking at that person, imagine you enter. You go into that person. Do not worry. You will not become that person. You will not take anything on. You're free to visit. So once you enter that person, and I'm going to leave you alone for a while with this instruction, you're looking through that person's eyes and walking in his or her shoes. And you go along the line. Imagine having his or her parents, his or her brothers, his or her partner, his or her children. So you're going in that person's skin. So you go through the ritual of parents, siblings, brothers or sisters, the environment that they grew up in and live in, their job, and finally you look through their eyes at you. You don't move anymore. You look through his eyes at yourself. No judgment. All you're doing is just witnessing this person's experience. Let's be silent for a few minutes. Some people may want to write down, some people just want to be in silence, and in 5 minutes we continue with a few more joy of being. So in 1 minute we're going to get up if you're ready. Take your time to bring it to a completion. So we'll do 16 and 24. In 16, the feet are together. The arms go sideways like before. It's a space energy encounter. Your energy is meeting space. When the right arm is horizontal, the left arm continues to go up. Might be the best to turn your left hand in, but doesn't really matter, maybe, I don't know. So there's a perfect 90-degree angle and then arch to the right. So going through the space, so we did the horizontal and now we do the vertical space. So we're connecting the horizontal to the vertical, the 360 degree to the vertical. Coming up, when you're straight, go back. Don't drop the right arm. that the physical is not so interesting. Going back to the right. So the vertical space is coming into your experience. Coming up. Do the same side. Stay a moment. Always release, releasing and becoming ease. In Kum Nye we can learn experiencing without beginning or end. And then momentary experiences are popping out of that, manifesting from that. But the real energy has no beginning or end. Life doesn't have beginnings or end. A particular life does, but life itself not. Coming up, turning the left palm out, the right palm up, and they go in harmony, left to the side, right up. Don't worry about the physical body, it is just all awakening vertical energies, or rather vertical space energy. Going to the left. Wherever the body goes, the energy comes within your experience. Through the body, you can touch space awareness, much more than mental intention. Coming up. Going back. A few more times in your own space. So because you touch that space you go through, becomes space awareness. Energy, space, make awareness, which is already there, but now it's waking up. Coming back. The left arm stays horizontal, the right palm goes out. Going down, so it's space, energy, creating awareness, which is already there. When it's horizontal, both arms continue, without beginning, without end. Even if the arms are alongside the body, there's no end. If there is, the energy becomes frozen and we're lost in thoughts. While the right arm remains alongside the body, the left arm begins to raise all the way up vertically. So we're all doing vertical work. Eventually, your left palm will face the sky. Your left elbow is straight if you can. Energy freely rising, it's called. Energy freely rising. The body is kind of rigid. Body is kind of, what else can it do but this posture? But the energy is not. The energy is making shapes. Flexible, pliable. The energy is loose, malleable, then we feel free. Inwardly loving, inwardly joyful, outwardly loving. Energy freely rising, as if you're a conduit between the earth and the sky. Left arm is finding its way through space without beginning or ending. That's the thing to learn. When the left arm is down, the right arm is coming up without beginning on the right side, without ending on the left side. Energy freely rising. Palm faces the sky. Try to discover no transitions. There's no transition between beginning and ending. There's no transition. There's ongoing. The context of this program is the most important thing to discover through Kum Nye. Ongoing. Continuity. No beginning, no end. So like now the arm is moving, but there's no transition. There's no ending of standing tall and beginning of arm moving. That's ongoing. The energy doesn't even know the difference. If the arm is up or sideways, it just becomes more malleable, flexible, moving. So the right arm is not ending an experience. When you sit down, you're not beginning a new one. Ongoing. So this is the end of session 8. Of course, I hope you had a good experience. But I would like to say 2 things. One is, if you walk in somebody else's shoes, there's not a particular specific experience you're supposed to have. If you do the exercise engaged, wholeheartedly, you can trust the experience. One experience might be that if you mention this person's name now, that there is not much tension about that person inside. Not much agitation. That could be one. That was the whole purpose. Is there any lingering tension between the two of you? So the release, the lessening of the tension could be one experience. Don't think you should experience 1, 2, 3. Maybe nothing. Maybe you experience nothing. But if I would mention that name, would you get agitated or not? And second of all, I don't know if this speaks to any one of you, but if it's true that everything is ongoing, you might see things moving. Don't freak out. You might see things moving. Do not freak out. Everything is moving. It's not only moving in space, but it's also moving in time. So if you look at the painting, the movement that it was there before it was hanging, and when it will come down at some point, all of that is already there, maybe too. So things are not dead, they are alive. So don't freak out if you see something moving. The dying person may see everything moving. Whatever the dying person is experiencing, you go with it. All right? Let's talk about the experience of dying a little bit in the next session.
Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Om Mani